Welcome back everyone to another playthrough. Today we've got the Cabal from 1988 by, is it Tad Corporation? I think it
is. Cabal was very common in the arcades. You remember the cabinet was everywhere.
Oh, was it?
Clearly inspired by the action films of the era, you know, so very much like Operation Wolf crossed with a bit of Commando, the game Commando. And it's a blast. Like, it's a great game with 5 missions and multiple individual scenes and that, and some of the coolest bosses I've ever seen. And
Cabal also gets the award for the worst laugh ever in the game.
Is it a laugh, or is it a death rattle? Because I'm not too honest. We've just come from a version we were trying to use, and that was constantly throughout the game, so we couldn't play it like that. Like,
no.
It must have been bugged or glitched. It's a great sound effect, I'm going to use it in my ringtone, actually.
Message tone.
Kind of weird. Anyway, I think we should just really...
Let's get into it.
It's a great game. Cabal came out in a lot of home systems and all, with some really good computer conversions. And a NES version, I believe, is that right? I think there's a NES version.
I think there was a NES
But I think as uncharacteristically, the NES version is actually like based on the arcade game, as opposed to being like a total rewrite with RPG elements and scrolling levels and, I don't know, robots. Like pretty much every other NES conversion in inverted commas would do. Cabal actually spawned a sort of unofficial sort of semi-sequel in Blood Brothers, which we'll have to touch on, because that's a great game.
Oh yeah,
there's a SNES game called Wild Guns, which plays very similar, clearly inspired. You might remember a game called Nam 1975 as well, which was slightly later than this one on Neo Geo, so again a very similar game.
Which we actually touched upon in our
we know earlier playthrough one Mutation Nation. I love the ditty. That's my ringtone. Another classic is, of course, Duke, Dynamite Duke, or the Double Dynamite, it's sometimes called. Arcade game that got a Mega Drive and Sharp conversion as well, so great game there. The most unusual Cabal-style game I've ever seen, actually, is, can't remember the name offhand, but I need to find out, but it's literally a ROM hack of this game, but with a Prohibition era sort of style, so that's pretty cool. Like,
that's not it's not Dead Connection, or it's called.
No. I know what you're talking. That's a good game, actually. It's Taito that made that. It's good. I would, in fact, since you've mentioned that, now I wouldn't mind giving that a shot. I've always wanted to see that played.
It's a good game.
It's like the fixed screen, isn't it? It's like you have your couple of players. It's almost like a bit of an arena shooter, isn't it? The way that there's enemies coming from all sides, and then you'll take on the boss after clearing the screen.
I remember it being like similar to this.
Well, it is in a way, because in that you've got your fixed screen. You're taking out a group of characters, a group of enemies, and that, and then you'll take on a boss of the level and move on to another scene. You know, and the levels are cool. Like, with levels in taking place in like opera theatres and restaurants and that. Exactly what you'd expect from a game about like the Chicago era gangsters.
Yeah. But, I'll add it to the list, because it was a good game.
But Cabal's it's one of my personal favourites in the arcade. I played this now. Interesting or not so interesting factoid, which I'll tell you regarding my experiences with Cabal. When I first played this game, like I said, I'd never played it before. I'd never seen it before. I didn't know what it was. So it was probably about 88 or 89. It was in our local bowling alley, and I played it like I played Operation Wolf, in that, like, I got to the end of the 4th scene, so the next level, this level here, and a helicopter came along, and when the helicopter came, I just like stood and just waited for it to pick us up. I thought it was a friendly helicopter that just dropped bombs. I was like, so I was a naive child, and at that time I thought I'd completed the game. I didn't think I'd tell you that, Mark. I think I've never told you now. It's immortalised forever in here.
So, getting away from your naivety and stupidity, was it a trackball version or a joystick version?
Oh Christ, I've never seen a trackball version. In fact, until you mentioned that now, I never knew there was, and I think that would be awkward, actually. On this game, I think I'd rather have the precision of a joystick, but I've never seen a trackball version of it's possible it was a US or Japanese only release. But as I said, the game consists of 5 worlds, basically 5 missions, each one split into 4 segments. They're pretty diverse as well. Very cool boss at the end of every single main mission, so the 4th section. And it's quite the game. Like, definitely a product of its time. Here we go. Definitely. Now this is my rescuer. The music changed, and I thought it was coming to help us, isn't it?
Don't shoot him, he's coming to help you.
They dropped bombs. I'm like, oh, why is it dropping friendly Why is it dropping tomatoes on? Is it like, you know, like a relief package or something, you know? I thought, you know.
Yeah, proper good news.
I worked it out after I lost about 3 credits, so it's no harm done, you know. My sanity and my pride remain intact. I mean, when I see the picture of the boss at the bottom, I just thought that's what rescues you. So this level, you rescue the submarine.
Does the submarine come out of this little pond?
Not this pond, not this actual pond. Although that would be, the level. Well. To be fair, the actual level that the submarine does come out of is exactly the same anyway. It looks like it is just like a little sort of like creek. You know, and this big nuclear submarine comes out. You know, it's like aye. But again, product of the 80s.
Yeah.
And so cool for it. I think the only thing it's missing is any real, well, I was going to say real humour, but you've got the little dance that they're doing that.
Aye.
I'm sure there's animals that you shoot, a bit like Operation Wolf as well.
Oh, I pressed the wrong button. It's looking for the roll button.
Yeah. Cabal doesn't take itself too seriously. Blood Brothers even less so, because that's got a Wild West theme.
It's fighting a huge train in the end.
One of the first bosses a train, yeah, it's cool as hell.
That was really good, aye.
That one boss is a massive airship, and it's great. Like they said, and it follows a Sunset Riders thing, so I thought that totally works for me. Like I spent many hours on this, and I could never complete it in the arcade, like in the actual arcade.
Have you ever finished it outside the arcade?
Yeah, just at home, it's like this. Yeah, but
six. I don't think I've. Actually, I think I will have completed. I will have played through this.
I've tried to complete this in the arcade, like so, with actual money, and I don't mind spending a few quid completing the game. With the satisfaction, but there was something which I'd never counted on, and that was that in single player. I don't think it happens in 2-player. In single player, at least I hope it doesn't happen in 2-player. When you're fighting the bosses, if you lose a life on the boss, you start the boss fight again, so its energy starts from 0. That could have been down to difficulty though, or it could have been down to the version of the game I was playing at the time.
Oh, where you gone? You're a bit dead.
Yeah, I'm back. I should love the fact that the scenery is destructible, even the house is not in the background, and well, not that one.
Aye, that one's probably a bit too
far. That one doesn't want it. No, it looks like it blew it up. Feel cheated.
I think I've got a special weapon, even though I haven't picked one up.
That's something else as well. There's cool weapons and that you can pick up.
I have, look, your weapons, like, ultra.
You've got something, yeah, you've got something there.
I don't remember picking anything up there.
I think the weapon's like a mix of like a carbine and that, and like a regular machine gun and whatever else in between. There's like auto. I mean, they're all, even your standard machine gun's quite like helpful. It's not like you're stuck with a crappy pea shooter. It is decent.
Yeah, it's good. You just have to keep your finger on the buttons, or you have to keep hammering it.
Good control system, really.
Good for your arcade machine if you don't want to break your buttons.
Right, so this is.
Is this where the submarine comes?
This is where the submarine comes up. This is it. Yeah, in this little.
It's like some guy's
backyard, like a backyard swimming pool, isn't it? Really? Right. You know, but yeah, there's a submarine. But again,
those like bicarbonate soda ones that you get.
Yeah, man, I've just been watching some videos last night about some really stupid 80s films. Obviously, like Deadliest Prey and all that, you know. Mostly the ninja films, you know, of the 70s and 80s and that. A lot of Bond rip-offs as well, though, and how they did them, and some of the stuff. I mean, there's midget Bond, you know. There's like a midget Bond, you know. And that's not like Knick-Knack from Man with the Golden Gun either.
Or Mini-Me.
Aye.
Oh. Oh, Jesus, got us.
But I would definitely say, if you like our Cabal playthrough, though, do let us know, because there's not that many games exactly like this. I mean, it's not exactly Operation Wolf, it's not exactly Commando or Contra. It does its own thing, you know. In that, there's not that many. So the ones I've mentioned, and probably a couple of. There's a couple of more obscure ones. There's definitely one where you fight a gorilla.
We fight what?
You fight an actual gorilla. This is the boss anyway. I'll find the name of that, but there is some other even more weirder games than the couple that were mentioned, which are similar to this, you know. But they're all like a sub-genre of third-person shooter. one of the other most well-known ones being Dynamite Duke, which I love. I love that game on the Mega Drive as well. That's well done, like.
I remember liking Dynamite Duke, like.
Yeah, you've got to be careful because like if you say it too quick or you order the wrong game, you end up with Dynamite Ducks and stuff.
Aye.
Which is no bad thing. No bad thing.
Which will have just went live on the channel tonight.
Absolutely, we've got a Dynamite Ducks video up there, which we enjoy. It's a good game night as well.
Oh.
I love what I do like. Have you noticed with the levels as well? That generally, if there's a pathway, like so, if you look in the distance, you'll see right.
Yeah, you go
the
down
next scene is where you're getting to the next scene. So that where possible, they do have a bit of cohesion, bit of continuity. I like that.
It's basically Double Dragon, so it's like all one level.
Yeah.
You
and you look like Billy and Lee, Billy and Jimmy.
You do. I'm in blue, you're in red, so all we do is fight at the end, and I win. I mean, you'll probably win. You've been practicing, so you've got a much higher score than me. It's not acceptable.
I can't. I've only got keys though. I'll get that computer.
Oh yeah, joypad sorted for you.
Oh, I'll get one soon. I just haven't bothered it. I really need one that much. Probably will though when we start our next project, right?
Yeah. Oh! Got out of that one. Oh! Didn't get out of that one though.
Doesn't Tad Corporation have something to do with its SNK though? Or
Snowbirds?
No, but like, I keep thinking the link to something else. The link to another company. I can't think of that.
I'm sure there will be.
Like it's a subsidiary or a alternate name. Do you know what I mean? And for some reason I keep thinking SNK, but that's not really adding up either.
Well, who else was it who did Snow Brothers? I'm sure
Torplan did. Yeah, Torplan.
So is that?
Torplan.
It might be wrong about Tad Corporation and Snow Brothers.
No, I think it is.
I'm thinking of.
I don't know. I keep thinking that name is ringing a bit of a bell though.
I'll have to look into that. I think you're right. I think there is some connection.
Data East maybe.
Could be.
Well, here's a kick. I'm sure that there's a home computer version in America released by Data East of this.
Yeah.
Because Data East weirdly had some control of Capcom conversions in America. So stuff like Commando, the American version for the Commodore and the PC and that is released by Data East over there, along with the Dragon Ninja and there's a couple of others as well offhand which I can't think, but Data East releases them on the home computers and in some cases the NES versions as well.
Right. Was Data East were releasing like the black cartridges or something in NES, weren't they?
I think they were, right?
Well, I think they were one of the ones who tried to avoid the Nintendo.
No. Data East, no. Data East, I'm pretty sure their stuff was licensed. But Colour Dreams and that and Wisdom Tree were two well known bootleg, not bootlegs per se, but unofficial licenses. But their games are extremely collectible now. Yeah, very collectible because of what they are. Have you heard of Bible Adventures? That's legendary. It's like an infamous game and all. I mean, you will have heard the story about Super Noah's Ark on the Super Nintendo.
Yes.
You know what that is, but that's expensive now, and they've just had a re-release as well. Obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, it's actually Doom, or it's Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
it's Wolfenstein, but with a religious skin, where Noah's Ark theme. So all of the Nazi soldiers have been changed into animals, which is great because you're fighting goats and pigs and stuff. The animals that don't shoot at you, if I remember right. How do they attack you then? I'm trying to think what they do. But you attack them by throwing food at them. And you're not killing them with the food, which would make some sense.
You're nourishing them.
You're feeding them. It's great. You're feeding them to death.
Yeah.
Or to sleep. I think that's great, mate. See, stuff like that I just find hilarious. This is the boss. I just do. It's somebody sat down and thought of that, and it's like you've got a great. I mean, they probably did it with straight face, but that in itself is just so cool. I think it's just so crazy. It's on the same level as the. I mean, you heard of like Captain Novel and things like that. The Super Nintendo sort of like the medical games where they teach you to like look after yourself. So you've got like one for like bronchitis and that, one for diabetes. Really? One for the squirts and stuff. Honestly, man, yeah. And it's but they're collectible as hell, honest man, because obviously they're not mainstream. You didn't even know about them, you know. It's like, this stuff is shit. I mean, they're terrible games, but they're out there, you know, and getting box copies and that is so hard now. They generally were given away or rented, not rented, but used in like doctor surgeries. So while us poor bastards were sat there reading the previous year's look-in magazines, kids in America were getting to play Super Nintendo games, but Super Nintendo games nonetheless, you know. I thought was just so cool in a bad way, in a horribly bad way. Oh, Mark, you didn't give one. We're into level 4 now. That boss went down quite easy, didn't it? I remember that being easy because it doesn't have a sort of like, you just keep shooting. The actual cargo it pulls don't have any special sort of real attack. They just fire at you, so it's easy to avoid.
As long as you shoot them quick enough.
It's easier. The first boss is quite tough, I think. You know, where it's got that spread, so you've got to make sure that you either shoot enough tomatoes or you position yourself between them. I don't think you can. I think you have to shoot at least one. You know, to get your position right now.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, that's how I found out the hard way that the tomatoes were lethal. You know?
Anybody who's just skipped to this part of the video and not the first bit will be like, what the hell is he talking about?
Tomatoes and helicopters.
I'm not going to explain, you should watch it from the start.
Exactly, yeah, go back to the beginning. Princess is in another castle. But Cabal, though, it's just the right size and all, I thought. It doesn't outstay its welcome. I say that quite a lot, like I do, but there is games, DD Crew being a perfect example. I think DD Crew is we've just spoke about that earlier, but that is a beat 'em up. It's just, you know, the level I'm talking about before we even go into it, you know, like it's a Sega game as well.
Staircase of Doom.
Oh Christ! But it never changes. I mean, the background doesn't change. It's got a tune, but it
keeps going.
Doesn't change. And it's like,
and it's really bad. Cause it's got terrible voice.
It's the same two enemies as well. You fight like soldiers that don't fire at you. They all look like Saddam Hussein. It's like somebody's fever dream, you know. But the thing is, this came out in '91 on the then superior System 18 system.
Yeah.
Would have still been out just before the 32 came around anyway. So it was a good system. Alien Storm came out, remember? You know, obviously a great beat 'em up.
Fantastic game.
And DD Crew, although it looks good, it does look good. It's got this realistic sort of. It looks like a Western-made game. It doesn't look like a Japanese game. But it just doesn't work as a beat 'em up. It moves too far away from what, like Double Dragon's got its own feel and Final Fight's got its own feel, and most beat 'em ups obviously fell into one of the two camps, didn't they?
Yeah.
And DD Crew just can't really find its niche. Like, I thought it was a very, very weird game. You know, there's actually some interest on YouTube now where people have actually put quite a lot of videos like speed runs on up and people breaking down the tech of the game, which shows that there's fans. It's a 4-player game as well. I mean, any game in 4-player can be fun, but it's just the feel is so off. Grabs and stuff are not done in the way you'd expect. There's only about 5 basic enemy types. There's more bosses than enemies, than regular enemies, you know, and they don't have very, very interesting attack patterns and that. It's hardly Final Fight or even Street Rage 1. Bear in mind, Street Rage 1 obviously would have come out about the same time, the Mega Drive, you know, so
yeah.
This is what why didn't Street Rage come out in the arcade?
I know, it's crazy.
This is a nasty boss, like, boss.
It was just ripe to be put straight in the arcade.
Honestly, I cannot get my head around it. We've already just spoke about this today, but I'll mention Riot City again and say that it's not a great game. That went down really easy, didn't it? It's not a great game, and it's a watered down version of Final Fight that takes away some of the best features of Final Fight. But to me personally, it's playable in that it does what it's meant to do. Where DD Crew can't even do that, I think, you know. Riot City's a very obscure game as well. Japanese only, I believe.
Well, was Japanese only, wasn't it?
What?
Riot City was Japanese only, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it, and it was done by West Dawn, which did the Wonder Boy game. But the thing is,
Wonder Boy is brilliant.
Well,
Riot City is shit.
Interesting thing with Riot City though, mine, is like it's got a little bit of an interesting backstory, whether you like it or not. There's a PC Engine stroke Turbo Graphics 16 version called Crest of Wolf, renamed as Riot Zone in the US, and it's Riot City basically, but 1 player only, and it changes some of the sprites. Like, it's generally the same game with a couple of levels switched around. Totally new soundtrack, but it's like either a licensing issue or Well, I think that's probably what it is, because they've done exactly the same with like Wonder Boy, didn't they? You know, with the Adventure Island series and that. But they were interesting series, though, because Adventure Island 1 is Wonder Boy.
Soft Adventure Island, wasn't it?
You what?
Hudson Soft, wasn't
it? Hudson Soft, aye.
Yeah.
So they've paid for the game without paying for the character, as far as I can see.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing with them series is, if you know, obviously Adventure Island's got probably longer legs than Wonder Boy now.
Yeah.
And, just as, aye.
Monster Slayer.
It's more well known with it being a more widespread series. But their later games in both series are totally different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And obviously Wonder Boy in itself has several different sort of timelines, if you want to call that, or franchise lines. What would the best way to describe this? I mean, you've got like Wonder Boy 1, and then there's 2 and 3 in the arcade. You've got the Master System games that are totally different, but they're still called 2 and 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But you've got like Monster World and all that. But if I've got this right, the arcade Wonder Boy 2 game is like an arcade RPG, and extremely rare. I've never seen it where I've seen Wonder Boy 1 and 3.
I've never really put much time into any of them other than the original.
There's that many games, but they're so different. But I can tell you, like Wonder Boy 3 on the arcade Mega Drive is a different game from the Master. Yeah. It's a totally so probably had something going like they did with Final Fantasy though, where they were putting numbers to games and changing those numbers for the Western releases. You know what I mean? So they would have very different titles in Japan.
Oh.
To anyone as well, this is the last level. We're on the actual last mission. Yeah, last mission. In fact, this is not the last area though. It's not the last area. Like one more. The last boss actually is quite similar to the last one, mate. It's like fortifications. And I remember being solid at the time, but that last boss went down easy, like for 2 days.
Oh, I love that.
It's a ticket, like, isn't it? I've noticed one thing. Your enemies, there's only a few basic enemy types. It blows its load this is the last level. It blows its load pretty much early on as far as enemy types go.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember right, Blood Brothers has a lot more variety, and some of it gets quite crazy later on, as you would expect by a game set in the wild.
It's been a while since I played it, but yeah, I think you're right. I think it does. There's a lot more variation, you know.
Look for a Bobo with a shotgun.
Variety. Oh, let's get out of the way of that. Oh, killed us just so I could get it.
That's it. But say this is the last level, and you're going to see something that would have really confused me as a child after we've beaten that last boss, mate.
Confused you as a child?
Oh, it confused us, because you'll have to guess my reaction to it, to this confusing moment in my life. It's after we beat the last boss. Fool me once, put that way, mate.
Did you try and think it was going to save you again and take you out of level?
We'll see, we'll see. Handy keeping as many grenades. The good thing about this is you can stock grenades until you're
blue in the face.
Pretty much, yeah. Right, aiming for the main one, mate, because those other 4 or 5 or whatever it is,
Just keep respawning.
Ah, see? It's doing what I thought it was. Now I wonder if it was credit wise there with
anyway,
I think it is. No, I've got no grenades, so didn't go. But see what was said over there.
Mountain district.
Now what would be cool? Oh, Mark, show it.
It's the same helicopter party, isn't
it? Well, do you see me confusion, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, my reaction was to grab out the control and go forward again.
Good work, soldier.
What happened?
What about you?
I died.
You did.
I die in combat?
No, you just died because you were pointless anyway.
I was flashing. Maybe I go in the other helicopter.
Aye.
I did go in that one. I'm throwing tomatoes at you now. Watch out, mate. Probably cover your face.
Look.
I know. It's got a very Dragon Ninja style graphic.
Yeah.
This is why I'm sure there's a link, you know.
We'll have
to have a look.
You might be right, like.
Music and all?
Yeah. No, I'll have to have a look. I like a bit of Dragon Ninja.
Again, that was a great length though. I think next week, right, we should have Blood Brothers and we should have another Neo.
Quite possibly.
Maybe Robo Army and Blood Brothers, I'm reckoning. Well, I'm actually blown up.
Yeah, you didn't
I
make
was
it
in
to
it.
the end.
I was in it. Wasn't I in it?
Oh well, that's a one-player playthrough, everyone, because Glenn didn't finish it.
I wasn't there. I was on a helicopter somewhere.
Right, everyone, thanks again for joining us, and as always, we'll see you next time. Take care.
Take
Bye
care.
for now.
Good night. Bye bye.